Hey guys, what's going on? Garanex here, bringing you another video on Genshin Impact. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. It's been a crazy 2020, so here's to hoping 2021 will be great for everyone. You get all the characters that you want and all the artifacts will have perfect stats. So we are about 2 weeks away from Ganyu. This is the perfect time to start preparing for her if you haven't started already. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at her skill kit and what artifacts and weapons to use. Ganyu is a 5-star cryo bow user. Her ascension stat is crit damage. I believe this has been updated. I remember previously it was showing as cryo damage bonus, but having crit damage as the ascension stat is actually perfect for her. We'll find out why when we talk about artifacts and team comps. The ascension materials are Qilin flower and also the Whopper flower nectar. Her normal attack performs up to 6 consecutive shots with a bow. Her charge attack performs a more precise aim shot with increased damage. While aiming, an icy aura will accumulate on the arrowhead before the arrow is fired. Has different effects based on how long the energy has been charged. Now, charge level 1 fires off an icy arrow that deals cryo damage. Charge level 2 fires off a frost flake arrow that deals cryo damage. The frost flake arrow blooms after hitting its target, dealing AoE cryo damage. And she also has a plunging attack just like every other character. These are the multipliers. She has one of the lowest normal attack multipliers across all bow users. You can see that the Frost Flake Arrow Bloom damage multiplier is extremely high comparatively. So her main playstyle will actually be using the charge level 2 to go for the Frost Flake Arrow and the Bloom. That's roughly 340% damage at level 1, and at level 6 that's roughly about 480%. Her elemental skill, Trail of the Qilin, leaving a single Ice Lotus behind, Ganyu dashes backwards, shunning all impurities and dealing AoE cryo damage. So the Ice Lotus continuously taunts surrounding opponents, attracting them to attack it. Endurance scales based on Ganyu's max HP, and blooms profusely when destroyed or once its duration ends, dealing AoE cryo damage. This skill is pretty similar to Amber's. The only difference is that you can hold the button and aim where to drop the taunt for Amber, whereas for Ganyu, it will exactly be where you are at. At level 1, it inherits 120% of Ganyu's max HP, the skill damage is 132%, duration is 6 seconds, and cooldown is 10 seconds. Now if we compare that to Amber, her skill inherits 41% of HP, explosion damage is 123%, and cooldown is 15 seconds. There's no specific duration of how long the skill lasts, but it will explode rather quickly because it's only 41% of Amber's max HP. I would say that Ganyu's skill is much better. First, it has a lower cooldown, so you can use it more often. Second, the purpose of the taunt is to make sure that no enemies actually focus on you while you charge your Frostflake arrow. So having higher HP ensures that the taunt will last longer. So in my opinion, Ganyu's skill is better than Amber's. Her elemental burst Celestial Shower coalesces atmospheric frost and snow to summon a sacred cryo pearl that exorcises evil. During its ability duration, the sacred cryo pearl will continuously rain down shards of ice, striking opponents within an AoE and dealing cryo damage. At level 1, the shard damage is 70%, duration is 15 seconds, cooldown is 20 seconds, and energy cost is 60. Now we don't know how fast the shard will actually drop. Assuming it's 1 shot per second, that's roughly a 1050% damage for the entire duration. Comparing with Amber, the total fiery rain damage is only 505%, that's about half of what Ganyu can do. Now let's take a look at Ganyu's passive. Her first passive refunds 15% of the ores used when crafting bow type weapons. The second passive, after firing a Frostflake arrow, the crit rate of subsequent Frostflake arrows and their resulting bloom effects is increased by 20% for 5 seconds. Now take note of this because this will be very important when we talk about the build. Her third passive, Celestial Shower, grants a 20% cryo damage bonus to active party members in the AoE. Now for her Constellation, for C1, taking damage from a charge level 2 Frostflake Arrow or the Frostflake Arrow Bloom decreases opponent's cryo resistance by 15% for 6 seconds. A hit regenerates 2 energy for Ganyu. This effect can only occur once per charge level 2 Frostflake Arrow, regardless if Frostflake Arrow itself or its bloom hit the target. So it increases your damage output and also regenerates energy for you. C2, Trail of the Qilin, gains 1 additional charge, so it can put down 2 taunts for a larger group of enemies. C3 increases the level of Celestial Shower by 3, maximum upgrade level is 15. C4, opponents standing within the AoE of Celestial Shower takes increased damage. This effect strengthens over time. Increased damage taken begins at 5% and increases by 5% every 3 seconds up to a maximum of 25%. This effect lingers for 3 seconds after the opponent leaves the AoE. Again, increases your damage output. This time it is increasing the damage taken, so all party members that are within the AoE of the Celestial Shower will be dealing more damage. This will be extremely useful in co-op situation. Her C5 increases the level of Trail of the Qilin by 3, maximum upgrade level is 15, and her C6 using Trail of the Qilin causes the next Frostflake arrow shot within 30 seconds to not require charging. This will improve her attack speed significantly, thus increasing your DPS. Ganyu's playstyle is very similar to Amber, but her kit is so much better than Amber's. Being a cryo character and having crit damage as the ascension stats allows Ganyu to boost her damage significantly, making her very easy to build as a main DPS. Especially now that we have the cryo artifact set, she can potentially reach 80% crit rate without much effort. We'll see how we can achieve this. So the best artifact for her will be the 4-piece Blizzard Strayer. The 2-piece effect increased cryo damage bonus by 15%, and the 4-piece effect, when a character attacks an opponent affected by cryo, their crit rate is increased by 20%. If the opponent is frozen, crit rate is increased by an additional 20%. So that's potentially a 40% increase in crit rate just from the artifact set alone. For the main stats, you want to look for attack percent on timepiece, cryo damage bonus on goblet, and crit damage on headpiece. For substats, you want to look for attack percent, crit damage, crit rate, and energy recharge. Although we can easily get 80% crit rate from artifacts and team comp, some players may not have the optimal characters to achieve that, so having a bit more crit rate will give you more damage output. But still, crit rate is not a high priority. Focus on getting attack percent and crit damage. In terms of weapons, the best 5-star weapons will be the Aimer's Bow. It has an attack percent as the secondary stats, and it increases your normal and charge attack damage by 12%. Normal and charge attack damage increases by 8% every 0.1 seconds for up to 5 times. So that's potentially a 52% increase in normal and charge attack damage. You can also go with Skyward Harp. It increases your crit damage and also deals some additional damage, but having too much crit rate might be redundant, so having more attack will be better in my opinion. For 4-star weapons, I believe the best will be the Blackcleave Warbow. It has a crit damage as the secondary stats, and after defeating an opponent, attack is increased by 12% for 30 seconds and stacked 3 times, so that's an increase of 36% in attack. Alternatively, you can go with the Prototype Crescent as the free-to-play option, but you have to make sure to always hit the weak spot to ensure that you get the passive. As for team comp, we want to have another cryo character for Elemental Resonance to boost our crit rate by 15% when attacking an enemy affected by cryo. I would suggest going with Chi or Diona because both of them are healers, so you don't need to use another slot for healers. In order to get the additional crit rate from the artifacts when attacking frozen enemies, we need a Hydro character as well. The best options will be Mona or Xingqiu, simply because they can apply the wet status continuously with their skills of burst. You can also go with Barbara too, using her skill, but you will need to be very close to the enemies for the wet status to apply, and you will end up having another healer. If you really want to use Barbara, you can use Kaya instead for the cryo resonance. Kaya's burst can continuously apply cryo on enemies too, but again you will need to stay very close to the enemies, which is not really what a bow user should do. So Mona and Xingqiu are still the better options. For the last slot, it's really up to you. You can go with Venti or Zhongli for crowd control, or you can go with Albedo for more damage, or you can go with any elements that you might need in order to break shields. So from everything we discussed, it might be confusing where you can actually get 80% crit rate, so let me summarize that. You get 5% by default, 20% from Ganyu's second passive, 20% from Blizzard Strayer 4-piece effect when attacking an enemy affected by cryo, 20% from Blizzard Strayer 4-piece effect when attacking a frozen enemy, and 15% from Cryo Elemental Resonance when attacking an enemy affected by cryo. All in all, that's an 80% crit rate. At this point, these are all theories. We don't know if all these will actually stack or not, especially the Blizzard Strayer effect and the Cryo Elemental Resonance, since they are both activated via the same conditions. If they stack, then that's an 80% crit rate for us. If they don't stack, it might be whichever higher ones will apply, and that means we'll have a 65% crit rate instead. We'll just have to test it out when Ganyu is released in the game. So that's how I will build Ganyu. I'm really hoping that I will get her, and I hope all of you that are summoning will get her too. Join my Discord if you wish to discuss more about Ganyu or the game in general. Link will be in the description below. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. That's it for today. Take care and have a great day ahead.